You know what I don't understand? I was watching that video you sent me yesterday where Trump's defense lawyer for this impeachment totally
Epic.
skewered that lady, the reporter lady. She just didn't know what to do, right?
Oh, she was like a child.
I know. She kept trying to bring up these points, and the guy was like, he was getting annoyed because like, listen, why are you even asking me this question? Here's the answer. It's so simple, a child would understand it.
Yeah.
Yet you're asking me this like it's breaking news, right? That's
Mhm.
what made me laugh.
Yeah.
But my wife was watching it, and she mentioned last night that you sent it to me in the morning, and that video had 1 million views in it, right?
Yeah.
And knowing that it had 1 million views and that it was being downgraded and you couldn't find it, and it's not like they promoted it. It's not like these videos like the liberal videos where it's like recommended on YouTube. You actually have to look at it and seek it out or have someone give you the link to it.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
had 1 million views, right?
Yeah.
And then you look at Joe Biden's videos. They get like 10,000 views, maybe
Yeah.
20,000, and they're being promoted like hell
Yeah.
to this stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what's kind of funny. It's like, well, why is he's one of the most quote unquote popular presidents ever, who was elected with the most votes ever, right? So you figured somebody must really like him, but no one cares about anything he says.
I,
And that's what's funny to me. It's like,
I'm looking at the @POTUS Twitter account, which is the president of the United States,
yeah,
and the guy supposedly got over 80 million votes, the most of any president in American history. Okay,
yeah,
and I'm looking at his number of followers, 7.6 million.
yeah,
Now, a lot of those are hate followers.
yeah,
Like, I hate the guy, so you want to hear what he has to say.
yeah.
But I don't remember what Trump's POTUS account was, but it was significantly more than that. It's hard to tell because Twitter got rid of it.
Yeah, I know.
And then if you look at Biden's personal Twitter account, it's like 27 million followers, but Trump had like 88 million followers. And this is the guy that in America alone had 80 million. It's absurd.
Yeah.
So
obviously, it's somewhat doctored numbers.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Plus, have you heard anybody in your circle talking about the great things that Biden's done already?
Yeah.
Like the guy's done, what is it, 52 or 57 executive orders already, in less than a month?
And the reason he's done the executive, it's not like he can't get anything through Congress and the House because he owns it, right?
Yeah.
The reason they're doing that is because everybody knows the things that he's doing the executive orders on, nobody wants.
Right.
And so he has to do that to kind of sneak it through.
Right. And if these are debated on C-SPAN and people actually hear the arguments for it, they're not going to like it. But but still, I have not met a person yet that said, wow, Biden is really tearing it up. He's doing a great job. Whereas when Trump took over in his first month, what did he do? He reduced the corporate income tax rate. He did this. He did these big things,
Yeah, he canceled NAFTA, and also the Asian trade agreement.
Yeah.
And he said, we're canceling this. We're making a new one. We're making it better for us.
Exactly. Also, Trump engaged with the American people. Have you seen Biden come out and do anything beyond some softball question from the press corps, like the backyard of the White House?
Or like the Valentine's thing his wife put out for him.
Was that? See that? Did you see the Valentine's thing? That looked like, there's a lady whose house I go by on the way to Stop and Shop, and she checks out her yard.
Yeah.
She's like this old white trashy lady. Every season for St. Patrick's Day, she has like little cardboard cutouts of pots of gold and inflatable leprechauns and shit like that. That's what it looked like. And remember when they were ripping on Melania's taste?
Yeah.
Like the Christmas, and they were ripping on her decisions for the garden.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. And this is what Jill Biden puts out, is the crappy plywood wooden size of
I know that she didn't do herself. She had her assistants do it.
Yeah.
You know. Oh my God.
You would think that they would have like, all these like creative artistic types at their beck and call.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we can make some beautiful hearts, that look just like the candies you buy at the store.
Well, they're trying to make it look like she did it.
I know.
It's just a marketing thing.
Ridiculous. It is.
You know?
It's ridiculous. Joe Biden did not win.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is laughable that he won.
I showed that video to my buddy out here, and he goes, "Well, he's just a scumbag lawyer." I go, "Well, that may be true, but what did you disagree with that he said?"
Exactly.
Exactly. That's what I want to know. It's like, okay, yeah, he's a lawyer, he's a scumbag, absolutely.
Yeah.
But what did you disagree with?
Well, I love my favorite line about it is you have to watch it to the end, where she's wrapping up the interview, and she goes, and so thank you, Michael Van de Veer, and he looks at the camera and he goes, citizen, and then just takes his leg off, like that's what he sees himself as, his title, not lawyer or at law, but just throws the mic down. Oh God, it's classic.
It was great. It was perfect.
It was like something Trump would do.
Yeah.
Like that was Trumpian.
And what made me laugh is I can imagine that reporter's headphone screaming at people.
Oh yeah.
Get him off! Get him! What are you doing?
Get him
off! What are you letting him go online for?
Cut the feed.
Yeah,
say this is a satellite problem.
Yeah, I know. Stop it! Oh, I can imagine the panic in her headphone. Oh my God.
I think she's gonna lose her job. I do. I don't think we'll be seeing much of her again.
Well, or she'll be in some kind of low-level reporter, or something like that.
I haven't seen her from the chest down, but she'll probably end up as a weather girl somewhere.
Yeah.
She's got a good enough set of cans.
Oh, that was funny. It was the question that she said, well, you said insurrection yourself in this. I mean, she specifically said that, like she knew what she was talking about. And he said, no, what I said was I was reading back the charges on it. And he said, you don't know anything about this case.
Actually, no. He said, I was reading back the charges.
Yeah.
He didn't say it like politely.
He was like, you know what I was doing. He hated being there. Oh, my God. It was simply classic. And that, and I told you last week, I'm looking at the gas prices. We were back in Pennsylvania last week, right? And the gas prices back there were like $1.60, something like that, right around that price point, right?
Yeah.
$1.30, right. Oh, what was it? $2.30. Yeah, $2.30, $2.20. Yeah. It was $2.20, $2.30. That was the gas prices. And I come out here and it's like $3.40, $3.50.
Yeah.
And it's like $1.20 more, right? Yeah. And you can make the case where like, well, there's more taxes. I go, okay. So you figure 40 cents a gallon more taxes in Ohio. Okay, maybe. So that's $2.70 then, right?
Yeah.
So where does the extra 50 cents go?
Yeah, what are you paying for gas?
It's like not Costco, just regular gas. Right?
Yeah, just regular gas.
Because when I went by, I didn't go by Costco in Ohio. I just went by regular gas, right? And it was like $3.40, something like that, right around there. It depends on the price.
Yeah.
But it's right around $3.40, $3.50, something like that. It's significantly more expensive than other places.
I remember when my daughter was out here, I had to take her back to the airport. And we had to stop and get gas at the place that I go to every morning to get gas. And I remember, at the time, this was back, before New Year's. I said, "Hey, look at that! It's $1.89." And I asked her. I said, She lives in Illinois. I said, "What are you paying for it out there?" And I don't remember what she said, but I remember it was $1.89. I go to that same station today. It's now up to $2.39.
Yeah, Costco. At Costco gas, our gas has gone up 40 cents to 50 cents a gallon.
Yeah,
because I remember that specifically because it was under $3 a gallon, right?
Yeah.
And then Biden, quote unquote, wins the election, right? And then the prices start going up, and no one says a peep about it.
Yeah.
No one says, well, they say you should buy a Tesla. I go, well, I can't afford a Tesla, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm having this discussion with my son. He goes, well, Teslas aren't that expensive. It's like a mid-sized Toyota. I go, yeah, the cheapest Tesla you can buy is like 35 grand or something like that.
Yeah.
That's expensive. It's expensive, right?
Yeah.
And that's the cheapest one you can buy. And as everybody knows, you don't buy the cheapest car in the line because you're gonna buy the upgrades and it's a crappy car.
Yeah.
So so that's my problem with it. If you make an electric car that's 10 grand, I'm like, okay, I can kind of get on board with that.
My point on it, okay, because you have a different living experience. You know where I live, okay? If I buy a Tesla, I only have on-street parking here in Salem.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have to park down the street because there are no stops in front of parking spaces in front of my house because it's a free-for-all. Everybody parks wherever they can get a spot. What am I supposed to run 1,000-foot electrical cord out of my window?
In the middle of winter, don't forget.
In the middle of winter.
Yeah.
And then what we have is we have snow emergencies where I got to go park my car up at a emergency lot. Yeah. And what do I do if I get back and I have to get into the emergency lot, which fill up right away? Again, there's a time and a place for the electric car. Yeah. But it would be a great if you have a second car. Yeah, a second car is great. But as your primary vehicle, unless you're only driving 100 miles a week or whatever, it's not practical yet. Yeah. And I just feel like if I'm driving, from Philadelphia to Cleveland, Ohio, I just feel like if I run out of gas, I'll be much better off getting a gallon of gas to get me to the next station than getting a charge out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's like when I drove to San Francisco, it's the same one. They have a charging station halfway up that you can stop at. Yeah. But I don't want to wait 45 minutes to an hour. What I do is I put the gas in, get out, and then I'm on the road again. Yeah. I don't want to hang around for an hour there.
Yeah. How many times you and I have been on the phone and you say, hold on, I got to get some gas. And then, 90 seconds later, we're back on the phone call. Well, I'm going to go in, again. Then the other thing, too, I don't like about it is, I will never buy a used Prius. I wouldn't buy a new one for that matter. But I will never buy a used Prius because the batteries wear out.
Yeah.
They wear out. I know that you get 100,000 charges or whatever the hell the number is for a Tesla. But eventually that car is going to be a brick. Where you can go up, up to Maine, and some guy can pull an old 67 Cadillac out of the woods where it's been overgrown with trees. And frankly, you can get the thing running.
Yeah.
But eventually, these electric cars. I mean, I think I read in a Prius, a replacement battery pack for a Prius cost $8,000. The one for the Tesla cost $15,000.
Yeah. And we didn't see any Teslas in Pennsylvania, and it's not because they're poor. It's because it was wintertime and there was snow. There's no way I'm driving a Tesla in the snow. There's no way.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Ask anybody that lives in a cold weather place. It happened to me about a month ago. The first day we were down around 2 degrees. I went out. I had to get a new battery. It kills your battery.
Yeah.
Cranking amps and all that stuff. And again, I know Teslas are built different and everything, and there are these Tesla fanboys that just come out, oh, no, that doesn't work that way. Yeah. I don't care.
But it's a battery.
Gasoline works.
It's physics.
Yeah. And I'm sorry. I've flown at altitude, okay? I'm looking down, and I don't see cars blowing friggin' blue smoke into the atmosphere. I just don't.
The airplane is. But not the cars.
Yeah, I mean, I had a guy in front of me the other day, and he was blowing blue smoke out of his tailpipe, and I had to close the vent on my car because I could smell. So
but those cars are protected because they're old cars.
Yes.
So they always have the rule in there to protect those guys. Those are the guys that are polluting the most, but you can't say anything,
right?
Because they're under this protection law where you can't say anything,
right?
So it's like, okay, what's the point then?
Here's the other thing. So many rules and regulations and changes in the way we do things come from complaints from people from high population areas in California. Yeah. Okay. For instance, the old tree hugger movement. You know, in where I used to be up in Northern California, it's not as thick with trees as it is here. Like where I trees are fucking everywhere. Like we don't have a shortage of trees. And so but these people, their hills are all covered with brown grass. Our hills are all covered with friggin' pine trees and maple trees. And so, oh no, we're destroying the forests, we're deforesting the plants. Yeah, that's because that's your point of view. And you live in a city where the wind comes in, like in LA, the wind comes in off the ocean and keeps the smog in. But here in Boston, the wind comes from the west and blows all our pollution out to sea. And so we don't have the pollution problems that people in LA do. So we don't treat it like the people in LA do. But
I gotta run upstairs. Happy President's Day. Bye.
Oh yeah, bye.